Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Wednesday night Facebook, YouTube exciting guest speaker. And our guest speaker was having a little bit of problems connecting, but hopefully, I see her now in the green room, and hopefully, she's not going to have any problems. I'm not going to freeze on her. She's going to be okay. And what a great entrance you're making, Janet. And here we go. Janet Zavala. There you go. Yay. Does it work?
It's all for the dramatics, right?
It's all for the dramatics. It's all about transformation. All about transformation. Okay. Am I freezing again? Or are you good?
Oh no.
Oh no. No.
I'm still
Please don't tell me.
having problems on my end.
Oh no.
I don't
Hang
know
on
if people can.
one second. We'll
On
fix
my StreamYard, you keep on freezing on me.
onto your cell phone. We're just gonna tell her she should go onto her cell phone. I'm gonna just do that.
I'm gonna try one more time to go back out and come back in.
Okay. All right. Is
Maybe I'll
anybody
go on my cell phone?
Are we doing anything? Is everybody okay? So Cindy, hello. Chris, hello. Riva, good to see you. Michelle Moray, hey y'all. Hello. Joy to the world. Rudy Rooter. Hello. Daniela, hello. Cheryl and Julie. We can see and hear Janet. Yeah, I think it's on her end. I really do. Amber, good to see you. Thank you for being here. So if you don't know, Janet is the author of The Nature of Transformation. And this is her newest book. Janet and I were both in this book, Own Your Own Awesome. And this was compiled by Kira Schaefer. And Janet's last chapter of this book is called Honoring the Landscape of Your Life. So there it is, honoring the landscape of your life. And she is she's just a very sweet, beautiful person inside and out. I got the privilege to hang out with her when we were at the last Celebrate Your Life event, which was awesome. We were in Scottsdale together, so we hung out. We were in some of the same groups together when we went to go see some of the same speakers. Obviously, we were when we saw the main speakers, the keynotes, she was here. She was there with me, so that was a lot of fun. Now, I'm going to ask you all. Tonight's talk is honoring your transformation, and we did a on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram today. We did a guided meditation based on transformation. What is the biggest transformation that you have seen in your life? And do you honor those pieces that help you transform? There she is, Cami Sterling. So good to see her. Thank you for being here, soul sister. So what do you guys do when you transform? And now I'm just because she's on here, I got the privilege of seeing Cami transform in a whole weekend. Not only did she transform, she did the apprenticeship program, but she also transformed when we went to our very first Celebrate Your Life. I got to see her, like how she started the weekend and how she left. All these ahas. Joyce says, I have trouble, but for the life of me, I don't see Janet. And here she is. There she is. Okay. And I'm going to turn this on. And that way we don't get the background noise. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you and I can see you.
Yay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yay. So what I was saying was I was telling people about honoring their transformation. And but let's give a little background first. So hi Janet. I thought it was going blind. Cami says, thank you, soul brother, and I've seen your transformation too. Thank you. Michelle says, not talking so much shit about herself. Excellent. Amber says, honoring my transformation into a mother and more. I love that. I love that. Lisa, good evening. Hello, 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 hello.
Hi,
Uh,
Lisa.
when I remember to trust my intuition, I'm happy. That's excellent. That's excellent. So Janet and I met back in 2020 when COVID started, and we were in Dougal's group. That was a year. It was a year of meeting, and it was called the Healers Circle. We learned a lot about um, business and what to do with a soul-based business. So we learned a lot of stuff, and we had such good connections in that group. So Jen and I met, and we started talking, and then we went to celebrate your life together in Scottsdale. You're coming. I'm so excited you're coming
Yes.
to the one in next month, like in a couple weeks.
In a couple weeks. Oh my God, it's like around the corner.
It's crazy. And then Janet and I, Janet's coming on the retreat um, in the fall, October, November. I forgot.
It's November.
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 Coming on
Yeah.
the November retreat. And
Yes.
then we're going to do a retreat. She and I are going to do a retreat next year.
Yes.
So, um, and then also, guys, since Janet's just yep, she's adjusting everything. I want to put out a prayer for many of you know Chris from Iowa. So Chris's mom had a heart attack today, and she was being rushed to the hospital. So if we can keep Chris and her mom, Sharon Bryant, in Brandt, sorry, Bryant, Laura Brandt, no, Bryant. How about Sharon B? We'll just go with Sharon B. If we can keep Chris and her family and her mom, Sharon B, in our prayers, that would be great. Thanks, everybody. And thank you, Delora. Yes, November 3rd through the 5th. There's a couple spots left, by the way. We're almost full, but it's a couple spots left. Anyway, so explain everybody. Well, first of all, we'll go with your journey. This book came out, Own Your Own Awesome, and like I told everybody, you told the story of honoring the landscape of your life. And I love this quote that you started off with. There are no lines in nature, only areas of color, one against another. Can you tell everybody what is this chapter briefly about? I know what it's about, but tell everybody else.
Yeah, I wrote about kind of my story and of all of the experiences that I had, and we've all gone through different things in our lives, all of the things that make us us, and the trauma that we've gone through. We've all, if we've survived this long in our lives, we've been through something that we've had to overcome, and that makes us us. And those things have created scars and created our limiting beliefs and our fears, but they've also created the strengths that we have. They've created the things that we have that have given us our passions, that have given us these strengths that we rely on and that we've carried with us through those experiences. And so I wanted to put a lens on those attributes as well, and not just focus on the bad things that those traumas gave to us, but the things that we've come away with, the gifts, if you will, that we've gotten from them. I don't want to just always focus on the traumas and the bad things and the scars that we have, but the gifts that we have from these things and the lessons that we've been able to learn. I wouldn't be a coach or a writer without those things that have happened to me. I wouldn't be the empathetic person or the person who can connect with people to help them through their journeys had I not gone through mine. So, honoring your landscape, honoring your experiences, because they happened. We can't change them. We can't go back and rewrite the past, and to kind of think about, I wish I'd had a different mother. I wish she had been like this, or I wish I didn't have that experience. That's just a recipe to cause pain and torture in your life. And so, kind of getting to that place where you can, honor those experiences as much as you can, and accept them and accept the strengths that you have as a result of them.
So true. So true. Because each experience allows us to grow in a way that is best for us and for our highest good.
Mhm.
Um, and hello, Shelly, and hello, Tracy, and hello, Jackie. Thanks for being with us tonight. What would you say? So, moving from that book and going into the nature of transformation. Now, I love this because I know what it's about and how you've created it. This is such. You have a workbook that goes with this too, correct?
Yes, I do. It's free for download on my website. So you can go onto my website and download it for free, or you can get the printed copy through Amazon. But it's a guided uh, journal that you can get, and to help you kind of unlocks or and decode some of those things that are keeping you stuck. But I really wanted to it's kind of like a gateway for life coaching,
Hmm.
and taking through somebody through this comprehensive approach of working through all of the aspects of their life, mind, body, and spirit, to kind of work through all of the things that are keeping them stuck. So it starts kind of understanding, your story, and all of those things that have happened to you, and all of those lessons that you've learned, and really kind of guiding you through all of those aspects of your life, and finding your passions, and making sure that you're incorporating self-care, and working towards building your self confidence and your self esteem, and connecting to your spirit and your higher self. So I kind of guide the reader through all aspects of that. But also,
Hmm.
I want people to connect with nature. That's kind of the connecting piece of it all, is that I find such inspiration in nature. And nature is forever transforming, and I find that analogy with us as humans. We Transformation is required. Transformation
Right.
is required of all of us, and so so as the nature is with us, we have to transform. We're like sharks. If we stop moving, if we don't move, we die. We're always changing. We're always moving. So nature provides us so much inspiration, and I try to put that in there along with meditations and journal prompts, and um, exercises that people can work through.
Well, and I love the way that this book is structured, everybody. Like there's summer, spring, fall, winter, and there's a really good one of my favorites is the forgiveness breath work that
Mm.
is found in fall. So harvest, transform, and preserve. So there's some great exercises, like she said. And again, Janet's website, thanks to Laura, is janetzavala.coaching.com. Tracy says, I'm surely stuck. I'm fixing to go to Alabama. I feel that that's my place of peace. Okay. So, what is it for you, Tracy, what's that transformation? What is that shift? If you feel that this is a way of going forward, moving forward, because this is a fascinating thing, and I think you touch upon it in here, if I'm not mistaken. But you know that old saying that, let's face it, guys. Here's a spoiler alert: Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz really didn't go anywhere. She really didn't go anywhere.
Mm.
But she always found that there was no place like home. So the issues that wherever she was going to go, wherever she went, she was going to have them. So she had to fix the inner home first to go somewhere, because you can't just pick up and go. I mean, I thought that at one time. I'm like, oh, if I just leave here, well, we're always taking us with us.
Right.
I forgot which section you mentioned that, but I know you talk about it. Um, I think it's in fall. I could be wrong, but but you're talking about how you can start fresh and you start new, but you're constantly working on you.
Yeah, and I think it's how I also talk about transformation, is that transformation isn't about changing the person that you are. It's about returning to the core of who you are before life's experiences created fear and doubt within you. So you, at the core, you are who you need to be already. It's
Right.
just removing all of the things, all of the effects of life that have kept you, have bogged you down and have, stuck to you, and, all of the fear and the doubt and the ugliness of life that can happen. It's starting to kind of, get rid of those things and getting back to the true and authentic person that you are.
Right.
So, whatever you need to do to get back to that true and authentic person that you are. But, you know, you are always, you can't run away from, that you have to work through your things,
Right.
and I say that at some point. And I think when I'm talking about kind of addictions and numbing yourself, because I talk about, in my 30s, I was, quite a pothead. I smoked quite a lot of marijuana back in the day, and no shame to anybody who does recreationally, but I was truly numbing myself out of the feelings that I needed to feel.
Hmm.
And you can't numb yourself out of the things that you need to feel. You know, you can't run away from the things that you need to feel, and heal the things that you need to resolve. So,
And there's a lot of people that will just say self medicate
yeah.
in a way that is unhealthy. I know that I'm an emotional eater.
Hmm.
I know that whether I'm happy, sad, whatever it is,
Right.
oh, food will always comfort you,
Hmm.
or food will always celebrate you. So
Right.
it's instead of us, well, let me talk about myself. Instead of me taking myself away from the food piece, I'm just
Hmm.
like, oh, wow, you had a bad day. Nothing like a good hot brownie, fudge brownie sundae. That
Hmm.
will just like that. I think we learned that. I know being Greek, you have a bad day. Let's, a little ice cream. Oh, here, you had a bad day. Oh, want a piece of cake?
Yeah. Yeah. I was an abandoned child, really. I was left alone, like from the age of 6 or 7, a lot. What did I
Mhm.
have as comfort? The TV and food, a bag of
Yep.
something, right? I mean, that was my comfort, absolutely. So, and it doesn't matter now whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that happens in my life. The food is my companion. So, you know.
So so I know we're talking about honoring. Jamie
Mhm.
says every emotion, happy food, sad food, frustrated food. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. How do we how do we truly acknowledge our transformation? Like when you're working with a client, how do you get them to say, yes, you're honoring this shift where you went last week to where you went this week to where you went the
Mhm.
2 weeks prior? How do you get them to look at that?
I think it's acknowledge. It's just that I think that people need to acknowledge that they have this desire to change the way they want to show up in the world, right? So whether it's they are tired of showing up in the world with all of their fears and limiting beliefs, they're tired of letting those fears lead the way, or they're tired of, just kind of not doing the things that they want to do, or they really want to, bust through their comfort zone, and they want to try something new and go for that goal, and they just don't know how to get there. So I think it's really acknowledging that they have this desire deep within them. They don't know
Hmm.
how to get there. So,
Hmm.
I think it's just first getting people to acknowledge that. And honestly, talking to a lot of women, I think that we as women, oftentimes we're used to kind of just like muscling through it and pulling up our bootstraps and not asking for the help, not asking for the coaching or the things that we need to try and help us get through that. And it's hard. We really need that help and support to get through it sometimes. So I think that, that's really asking for that help to work through some of those issues.
And it's important for all of you to know that, with coaching, um, when when you are being coached, you are doing the work. You are doing the work. It's not like Janet or myself saying you need to, and A plus B. It's like it's the questions are coming out, and as the questions are coming out, would you consider this? Here's a suggestion. How about this? And then do this and see what it feels like, and then come back and we talk about it. It is, and it's not therapy, everybody. Let's just be really clear. It's not therapy. Dolores says, my husband's Ukrainian and Polish descent. I can't say I love you. It's here, eat this. Yep. Kim says, some people go the opposite way. No food. Yeah, I hear you. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for being here. Jamie says, yep. Dolores, my family is full of food pushers with love. Yeah, it's 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 interesting. I think that if you were to look back where you were, Janet, 5 years ago, you can see the transformation in yourself.
Absolutely.
Did you ever think that you would be an author, a best-selling international author?
I dreamt about it. I certainly dreamt about it. Like I had these dreams, and I've always had these dreams. I just had let them go for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kept them buried by trauma or just a lack of confidence. So I knew that the desire was always there. It's just doing the work and digging deep and choosing. I think I had just like one trauma too many.
Yeah.
And it kind of all. It wasn't the pandemic. I think, as an introvert, I kind of enjoyed the pandemic, but there were a couple traumas that happened within the pandemic that just had me go, you know, okay, like that's it. It's either I do this or, what else? What else am I going to do? you know?
Right. No, yeah, I get it. I mean, I think the pandemic really shit. I got divorced during the pandemic from, y'all know my story. And if you don't, I was married to a narcissist, and it took me a long time to realize that. Someone else pointed it out, and I did my therapy that I needed to do. I worked on me, and I started doing still more of the intuitive work, but then I combined the intuitive work with the coaching, which seems such a natural flow, and the me 3 years ago, n- nothing like the me now, I would say. And the me 10 years ago, oh my God, you wouldn't, you would say, who is that person? Who is that person? And I think things happen. I always say this on TikTok, and I've said it on here, and let me know your feeling on this. Things happen for us, not
Mhm.
just to us. When people are like, this happened to me, and why this, no, it happened for you for a reason. It helped you to move through things. It happened because you needed to get from here to point B. And if you were going to be stuck at A, you know, things probably wouldn't have, you would have just like sat there and like, why? We have to be willing to say yes to the
Mhm.
shift.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard something, I don't know, about a year ago, maybe from somebody else, but it was your life is falling apart in service of you. It's falling apart in
Mm.
service of you. It's not happening to you. It's falling apart in service of you. So you can make that shift. And that's exactly right. What happened is way before the pandemic, I think in 2018, I took a job and it turned out horribly. And I
Mhm.
think if it hadn't turned out horribly, I wouldn't have turned back to my book. If the job was going great and was doing that, I wouldn't have turned back to the book and finished it because, I that job wasn't an option for me. It was just so horrible. It wasn't sustainable. It just fell apart. That fell apart, and that was in service of me. You know,
Right.
it was
Right.
painful to go through, and I hated every minute of it. Right, but it was in service for me. It was the universe saying, get back to this, and because I didn't do it myself, the universe said, okay, we'll get you back there, you know.
Right. Right. And I think if you guys look at how you can honor, like I was a huge people pleaser, huge. I was probably the vice president of the people pleaser committee. And knowing, you all know how much I love my parents, but I people pleased them. And I people pleased them. And did the I took the classes that I thought I needed. I was a business major, hated that. Then became a communications major. It was okay, with a minor in psychology. And then I flipped it to a major in psychology with a minor in communication. I worked at Leo Burnett Advertising because to please them. Um, when I worked, and those of you that live in Chicago will know, I worked at a 50s, 60s place called Ed DeBevick's Restaurant. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And I was a server first, then a server trainer, then I became a manager. My parents were like, well, especially my mom. My mom said, don't tell the family that you dress up and you bop around and you jump on the tables, like a monkey in a zoo. It's like, what? What? And yeah, and it was crazy. But then when I became from a server trainer to a manager, my parents are like, "Oh, he's a manager for a multi-million-dollar restaurant downtown Chicago." I'm like, "When did we become Jewish?" It's just like, it's like, okay. Jackie says, "I love that place." Yeah, exactly. And Tracy, I want to acknowledge this. Tracy said that her transformation, and she said she just broke up. She had a breakup today with her boyfriend. So many prayers for you, honey. And she said, but I already knew what was up. Okay. And why? And I was blamed, but I know why. Okay. You know, um, she said, I got a feel higher power had something to do with that because there was a reason his loss, but I knew it was going to happen 3 days before it did, at least 2 days, but surely three. Yep. We all go through these things. We all go through these things. Hi, Geraldine. Good to see you. What would you say if how did somebody get through it? How does somebody know, like, what do you say out to the universe? What do you do to say, okay, I am worthy and deserving of this transformation? How do we get through there?
Yeah, and we talked earlier this week in preparation for this, and you know excuse me, you asked how you doing, and I said, oh, I'm good, but I'm going through my own existential crisis, and I feel like I go through these things often,
Mm-hmm.
where I do have to find my footing again, and I think everybody does. So it's kind of some version of these things, and I really think when you're going through periods of time like this, I think that what you need to do is get back to basics, and that's what I'm trying to do. And you know, uh, getting back in touch with your physical body, that I need to ground myself in my physical body, because usually
Mm-hmm.
when I am other, and we talked about it, kind of the focus on food, right? I don't pay as much attention to my physical health. So you know focus on movement, focus on healthy eating, eating whole foods, drinking water, and getting good sleep. I
Right.
think when you're starting to ground yourself in your body and the health of your body, and that will help you kind of, ground yourself and make you feel better. And that's, self-care, and doing that. I think, going out in nature, anything to kind of ground yourself. And, one of my favorite things to do is go out in my front yard and take off my shoes and water the grass. That's kind of an homage to my dad. He always used to water the front lawn, and he took such joy in that. But that's a grounding thing. He
Yep.
was really connected to nature, and you're grounding in nature, and that makes you feel kind of connected. So all of these things will help clear your mind. And then meditation. It's just sometimes, I'll let my meditation practice go. And so for me, and then also for my clients, I'll like, get back into your meditation practice, or start your meditation practice, start doing it every day and get back into it, so you can kind of clear your mind of those thoughts that are rumbling through your head that make you think that you are unworthy, or that, you don't have what you need to get through this stage of your life, right? Because when you are wrapped up in all of the external things that are happening, and then your thoughts are kind of compounding on all the negative things, then it's just like a free for all in your negative space,
Right.
in your negative mind space. So you need that silence, that stillness, so you can create that space in your mind to, you know, open up for the positivity in your mind. So those are some of the things that I recommend for my clients. Those are the things that I do for myself, to just kind of start the process to get yourself through it. And then journaling, just kind of working through all of the things, all of the thoughts that are going through your mind, so you can kind of start to reprogram them. And then you need to start feeding your mind with inspirational information, because if you're scrolling on social media, this kind of information is inspirational information, and you're hearing good things. But if you're on different sources of information or news, or there's a lot of ugly, scary things going on in the universe, right? And our country, for goodness sakes,
Right.
and,
Right.
and I can get too wrapped up into that, and it's scary. And I heard RuPaul say the other day, it's like, you have to look at it and be aware, but you can't stare at it for too long. So you gotta look away. You know that's
So true.
yeah.
So I want to ask everybody here, what's something that you can do today that would help you with your transformation? So Janet was talking about just starting to get grounded in your body. We talk about on the lives, we've talked about earthing, which is exactly what she was talking about. You take off your shoes and socks and you put your feet in the grass and you squish the grass with your toes. So it's really important. What you guys, so in the comments, put in one thing that you can do, one thing that you can do um, that will help you um, focus on a shift. One thing that you can do that will focus on your shift. And if you want to put that in the comments, that would be great. And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because this is really important for you guys to see, because the topic again is called honoring your transformation. We want you to look at where you've been, what you've done. I mean, both of us, many of you guys know our stories. Janet's been on here before. I know Janet's story. And there's stuff in our past that we look at and we go, wow, how did I get through that? And I think our experiences help us to teach.
Mhm.
Um, and I want to say educate, help to educate others about things that go on with us. We learned that because we had to do it. We had to dive deep, get through that crap to come on the upswing. And it's like this. Some days it is that roller coaster. Riva says, um, doing my mobility exercises. Okay, excellent. Who else? Who else does something to provide that shift, provide that transformation? And if you hear me put myself on mute, and it's because one of the boys are home and Willow will be barking. So I'm going to put myself on mute. Jackie says affirmations. Okay. Natalie. Hi, Natalie. Natalie says yoga. Yoga is a great way to get back into your body and reset because it's a reset button. What did you say, Janet? It's kind of a daily. I was trying to do kindly. It's kind of a daily button.
Right. You have to intentionally every day believe and set that intention that you're gonna, start that day anew, and that whatever happened, that you have that new opportunity to change the way you're going to approach the day.
That's meditation, pounding the pavement. Yeah, that's always good. Dolores says, this one time I started to do weekly yoga and then Christmas. You're
Delora.
funny. Tai Chi is a great, Tai Chi. Oh, you did good, Willow. Good job, Willow. Shushing. Tai Chi. Sheila says, make sure I leave time for me, not fill it up with everything. So true. That's, and here's another thing, guys. If you make yourself so busy that there is no time for you, then what are you doing? That's avoiding. It's a way that, we can put in food, we can put whatever it is to avoid what there you have to do. Now taking care of yourself, like Janet was saying about grounding, it's also about nurturing self. So this morning, um, Willow decided to wake me up at 4:30 this morning. Um, I don't know why I was tossing and turning, so I really didn't fall asleep till about 1 o'clock in the 1 o'clock in the morning last night. So she woke me up at 4:30, and she was sticking her nose into my armpit and stretching her, because I know that I have to get up because I have to go out. So I got up, and of course I got up, she got up, Harry got up. We all went downstairs. She went into the backyard and she was eating grass. And I'm like, oh, great, she's gonna puke. She's gonna puke. She's eating all this grass to puke. Now Harry can eat grass and nothing happens. He just helps trim the lawn. So then we go back inside, and I'm like, oh God, okay, don't fall asleep because she might puke on the rug. Don't fall asleep because she might puke on the rug. Because it's the moment that you hear that, I'm like, oh God, I sometimes will pick her up and then put her right on the floor instead of on the rug. But I didn't really sleep that well, because by that time, now it's 6:30 and I'm awake. I'm wide awake. So I was supposed to be on TikTok today at 3 o'clock. I said I was going to take a nap, and I set my alarm for 2:45. At 2:50, when I heard the alarm go off, I said, I'm taking care of myself. And I disconnected and I went back to sleep. Now, normally I would push myself, but I know that if I'm holding the phone and the phone's falling out of my hands, I'm exhausted. So I was able to take, until about 4:15 or so, I was able to take a 2-hour nap, which will last me for a little bit. So walking your dog, qigong. I also need dance breaks. Those are important. Love dancing out. Thanks, Geraldine. Yes, I did. I totally needed. Do we recognize? Would you, to Laura? And that's not a good on-camera look. No, it's not. Could you imagine me drinking a glass of water, like, oh, hi, everybody. Pamela says there's a meme that says the sound should be on an alarm clock. Glad you napped. Yes, yeah, yep, exactly. How do we get to a place of acknowledgement? Because yes, to honor it, but how do we acknowledge that, like, oh, okay, what do we do to celebrate that next step? How do you coach somebody to celebrate that next step?
I think that, I've been talking about confidence on my daily coaching tips over on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And I think that sometimes we have a tendency of talking about our accomplishments and then immediately after talking about our failures. So I think that we need to get into the habit of acknowledging our successes, hard stop. Like, I've achieved this and that's it, right? We need to really celebrate what we've accomplished,
Yes.
and really take it into our bones and not derate what we've done. I was talking to a client the other day, and she had a big success, and she said, I did this, and then she said, well, I could have done this and this and this better. And I'm
Mm,
like, don't do that. I'm like, stop. I want to stop you right there. It's okay to say, next time maybe, I'll do these three things a little bit differently. But I want people to actually take what they've done, what they've accomplished, and truly take it into their bones and celebrate their successes. Because too often we derate our successes, and I, I'm trying to understand this from a coach's perspective to my clients, and a coach for women often is, why do we do this as women? Do we
mm-hmm.
don't do we feel like people will think that we're conceited, or that we're big-headed, or that we think too much of ourselves?
Right.
I don't know if we've been given this subtext growing up that we don't want to be too proud of ourselves, of our successes. So that's what I'm trying to work with my clients on, is really that celebration and that acknowledgement of what we've succeeded at. So I really try to work with my clients in acknowledging the successes and building on them. Like, that's great, and let's see what else we can do, and reminding people of those successes. You've done that, and
Right.
you are capable of doing these things. So when they express doubt in the future of their capabilities, reminding them, you've done this. You've got the skills and abilities. And part of the process when I work with clients is that in the beginning of working together, I want them to identify their unique skills and abilities, what they're good at, because I want them to refer back to them, because you will excel, and you will stand out in those areas where that you're good at. This is where you're going to shine. So
Right.
I want people to really stand in their power. I want people to be empowered in what they're good at, because that's where they're going to be, their chest pumped up, and they're going to be able to, you know, go after their goals and go after their own transformations. And it's not just kind of getting over some of the traumas and the hurts, but it's also going after those big goals. That's what I want people to go for. Is it's not just getting over the challenges, but really going after those dreams that will, you know, really kind of propel them into that bright future that they desire.
Because we talk about, the coaching that I've done, we talk about stepping out of your comfort zone is what
Mhm,
I feel that you're speaking on.
mhm,
And that is, how do you get them to go into that next level? It's like, what kind of a risk is this? On a scale of 1 to 10, what kind of a risk is it? Is this a 3 risk? Or
mhm.
do you want to start going for those 7, 8, 9, and 10?
Right.
Because that shift, change is transformation, is change, and change is growth. And we all remember when we were younger and we had those growing pains.
Mhm,
That's what happens when we shift. And
mhm.
when you can honor that, and when you can nurture that, and when
Yeah.
you can acknowledge it and celebrate it, you're doing the thing. Vicky says, I journaled the good and bad and got all the anger that I felt out where no one else could see it. Very therapeutic. Very
Nice.
good. Hi,
Nice.
Leslie. Thanks for being here. Um, Dolores says, my brain says, yeah, that's great, but there's more to do. Exactly. And sometimes, Pamela says, the message of got to be humble. Yep. So true. Um, Now, Sheila says this, and Jamie, I saw your comment about you're tired ever since the full moon. That was a super full moon. It was a kicker. You should look at your chart and see, and if you want, you can have crisscross astro sauce. Christy, look at your chart and see, where you were and what effects that supermoon had for you, because it's fascinating. Um, Sheila says people can see self care as selfish. I still have to remind myself. So think about this: self full. you're being not full of yourself from an ego place, but you're filling yourself up. So you're full, self full instead of selfish.
And
Okay.
I want to point out for that comment about, if other people see your self-care as selfish, they're asking you to prioritize their priorities over your own. So who's being
Mm-hmm.
selfish in that equation? You know, I feel like it really is the old adage of putting the mask on yourself on the airplane.
Yep.
When you are full and well and, you know, able to kind of live life from a healthy vessel, you are
Yep.
able to give more to those around you. It's just a fact, you know.
So
So
true. So true. Does anybody have any questions for Janet? While since we're chatting, any questions, any coaching type questions that she may uh, be able to answer? Also, you are working on your next book coming up, which is
yeah.
awesome. You have those daily guys. You should really watch them and like them. So it would be great for Janet to go live on TikTok. So make sure you're following her, Janet Zavala Coaching, and look at the Instagram, look at the TikTok. I don't know what I'm part of Threads. I have no idea what it's all about. I just got part of Threads, and I'm like, I don't. I'm like, post a picture, post this, post that. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's important. It's important to
Yeah.
work on you, everybody. So important. Thanks to Laura. So we have TikTok is Janet Zavala Coaching. Facebook is Janet Zavala Coaching.
Yeah.
Website. Your website is janetzavalacoaching.com. So
Mhm.
there's a theme here, people. There's a theme.
Absolute theme.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns that you'd like to ask? Um, I'm excited about seeing you in August. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that. Thanks to Laura. Um, and I'm excited about being there. I'm excited to see Dougal again. I mean, not that I don't love everybody else that's there. And guys, I said prayers for Chris Wright's mom, um, Sharon, but also prayers August. Yeah, August is celebrate your life. And if you let me do this because now I know how to do this. This is high tech for me, Janet, to do this thing. I can't believe I learned how to do it where I could do this. Ready? Here we go. Presto changeo.
Oh my goodness.
I know. There it
Fancy.
is. Fancy, right? I will give Dougal a hug for you, Delora. So here we have all the speakers, and then Kira and I are doing morning wake up sessions, which I'm really, really, really excited about. So it's cool. Yeah. Thank you, Ginger Healing Heart Medium for showing me how to do this little funky stuff.
Mhm.
Um, excuse me. Let me now leave this part and then we go back to us. Oh, wait. And then we go back to us. There we go. So always good to see you, Janet. Appreciate
Aw.
you answer. Oh, of course, of course, of course. Tracy says this: how to clear out all this stuff going on in my life right now. So all the stuff that's going on with your life, you know, how easy is it to eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? You have to do it one bite at a time. So you deal with the stuff, I would say you deal with the stuff that's right in front of you and you move outward. You continue to go outward. What would you say?
I guess what's coming to me initially is like, also I think that, you know, one bite at a time, but where is your energy? You know, I think
Mm,
energy attracts energy. So, you know, be a good steward of your own energy, and, you know, make sure that you know, you're clearing your energy, that you have positive energy, and you're trying to kind of maintain, you know, I'm not sure, you're probably more attuned with that kind of energy work than I am, but that's just kind of what came to me, is like,
No.
well, what are you attracting? So making sure that's on solid ground.
Someone once told me to be the person that I want to see myself as.
Mm-hmm.
Be the person that you see, who you want to, who you that person that you want to be. Start acting like that person that you want to be,
Yeah,
and see what happens. It's
yeah.
very, very important. This hour goes by so fast.
I know.
It
I look at
always
the
is.
time. I can't believe
I
it's.
know, I know, I know. And I'm so glad that we're both on Pacific time, because then I'm like, what? Oh, wait, let me switch my brain. Pamela, so always so good to see you. Pamela says, Jamie SP, wow, it really hit you. If temps are soaring where you're at, that is exhausting too. Hope you feel better soon. See, and I miss, it's the only thing I don't like about um, StreamYard is sometimes I miss comments.
Mhm.
I never miss work, but I have called in 2 days just to sleep. Wow. Wow. Um, Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Dolores says for CYL, go to scamania.celebrateyourlife.com. Thank you so much. Um, and we got a couple things. Kim says, I'm acting like a business owner again. I love that.
Mm.
Hi, Irma. Always good to see you. Yes, great hour. Glad to see you. Now, guys, next week we have someone brand new, and I'm going to show you her book. Her book is The Family Gap Year by Sheila Maloney, and how we moved to Brazil, dropped our overscheduled lives, and created a sustainable, happy future for our family. And here's Sheila. There she is right there. So Sheila's from Chicago, and she said, if you want eat, pray, and love, but for families, Family Gap Year is a perfect book for you. Escape the daily grind and follow your dreams. So Sheila is a Brazilian-born American writer and lawyer. She is a conflict resolution expert, mediator, and legal consultant. When she isn't busy with her husband and 3 kids, Sheila spends time as a relationship coach and matchmaker. She's a retired administrative law judge and lives in Chicago. So she's a fascinating, lovely person. She's a friend of a friend. And just so Family Gap Year is her book. What else? What else is coming up is let me show you so I can do the screen thing again. It's so exciting. Hang on. I'm going to present, and I hit the slide, and I do this. And then this is what's happening coming up at the end of the month. Delora and I are going to
Yeah.
take our color coaching that we learned from Dougal, and we're going to change your trait with color. Find out if you're a people pleaser, an intuitive, a nurturer, an empath, perfectionist, control freak, and or fixer. So we have a questionnaire, and we're going to go over that, and so that's going to be a fun event. I'm super super excited for this as well. And guys, there's a lot. Please follow Janet. Again, Janet Zavala Coaching on TikTok, on Instagram. Yes, Facebook users like Delora. I know everyone's getting used to me just doing that with Janiki from Norway. So good to see you, my friend. So good to see you. Um, so everybody, Janet, just hold the phone for a moment. I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you all being here. The guests that I bring to you have a message. The guests that I bring to you have integrity, have a heart, and I really feel that so truly with the work that you do, Janet. You are, people don't see on media that heart that you have, and when you're speaking on your coaching tips, it truly comes out. You really care about your clients, and I think it's so important to have more good people like you in the world. So thank you for being an inspiration and a friend, and being on this journey with me. And all of you, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. Well, I am here if needed. Okay. You are here if needed. Okay. Don't understand that, Paula, but thank you for being here. Again, guys, thank you so much. Remember, we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate. And when we educate, we grow. And look, let's see. Hang on. It's now on the wall officially. Connect, educate, and grow. Next to the drum and right below the shelf, or right above the shelf. So thanks everybody for being here. Have a beautiful night. Tomorrow is Thursday. We have guided meditation at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, 10:30 Eastern time, 9:30 Central on the Tiki Talk. So I hope to see you then. As always, thanks everyone. From our hearts to yours. Be well. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.